welcome back to 5 Minutes in the Word with Redeemed Girl Ministries, and I am Marian Jordan Ellis. One of the teachers of the Bible that I esteem most, Louis Giglio, I heard him say one time, God is not ashamed of his godness. Now, what he meant by that is, if you read the Bible, God really just says, I know who I am. I know that I'm God. I know that I'm creator. I know I have no rival, and I'm not insecure about that fact. The verse we're looking at today reminds me of that statement, that God is just flat out not ashamed to say, I'm the only God there is, and I deserve all worship, and I am not ashamed of my godness. And the verse we're looking at is talking about that God is sovereign. Now that word sovereign can be really confusing, but just a simple definition is that his perfect will is going to be accomplished. It cannot be thwarted. His intention for humanity, his intention in creation, it is sovereignly, as a king, and it will be carried out. And so when we start thinking about God as sovereign, that makes him unique, that makes him set apart, that makes him who he is. And we're going to see in a minute how much rest and peace that brings to our hearts. Well, the verse we're looking at is from Isaiah 46 verses 9 and 10. And kind of keep that mindset of God kind of saying, I know who I am, as we read this verse. And he says in this, he says, remember the former things, those of long ago. I am God, and there is no other. I am God, and there is none like me. I make known the end from the beginning, from ancient times what is still to come. I say, my purpose will stand, and I will do what I please. That's Isaiah 46, 9 and 10. You may have noticed that the word sovereign is actually not in that verse, but when God says, my purpose will stand and I will do what I please, and I called it from the beginning and it's going to happen, he's basically saying, I am sovereign. Now, when we study these scriptures, it's always important that we go back to the context. Now, the prophet Isaiah is writing to the people of God who've been deported and taken captive into Babylon. And this has happened to them because they've fallen into idolatry and they've worshiped these other pagan gods of the nations around him. So here's what's funny. God is addressing his people, and he's reminding him that he is the one God, there is no other, and he's doing this by comparing himself to the idols that they were worshiping. And if you go back a few verses, in verses 7 and 8, he talks about the futility of idolatry, that someone, he's almost mockingly saying this, he's saying, so you take a piece of gold, and then a goldsmith melts it down. And then a goldsmith carves out an idol, and then someone bows down to that, and they expect that piece of carved metal to be sovereign and ruling over their lives. He's like, are you kidding me? He goes, I am God, and there is no other. I call the end from the beginning. And so he kind of looks at the futility and the ridiculousness that idolatry is by calling him, and then calls his people back to himself. Well, here's the thing. Any bozo in the world could show up and say, I'm God. Well, here's what God does. He backs it up with proof. And so in the rest of this verse, he goes, you want to know that I'm sovereign? You want to know that I'm God? You are in captivity in Babylon right now. A nation that is stronger, or so it seems, than any other nation in the world. But guess what? I'm going to raise up a man named Cyrus, who's going to be king of Persia. And he's going to be like a bird that I call in the air. And he is going to come and defeat Babylon, and he is going to set you free. Well, guess what? God said this through the prophet Isaiah 100 so years before Cyrus was ever born. And then, P.S., it happened. God raised up a king in Persia named Cyrus who defeated Babylon, and Cyrus proclaimed a decree that God's people would be sent home. Because who's sovereign? Not Cyrus. The God who called Cyrus and equipped Cyrus and gave him favor as a leader, he is the one who's sovereign. And God's plan was not thwarted. His plan happened. See, God doesn't just say, I'm God. He backs it up with proof. He goes, I'm going to call the end from the beginning. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen, and then it's going to happen. And when he does it, we all just sit back and wonder and go, wow, look at our sovereign God. Well, you know what? That happened in history thousands of years ago, so that we could have confidence that the same God who was sovereign over his people is sovereign over our lives today. And Romans 8:28 says, in all things God works for good for those who love him, those who are called according to his purpose. And I can't tell you how many seasons of my life that those words have brought me comfort and peace, understanding that he loves me. And right now, I may not get the season I'm in, but I know that he is sovereign. He is on his throne. His purpose will be accomplished, and he has never once said oops. And I can trust my life to the one who has no rival and who is the King of the universe.